Well, hello everyone. This is Brian Sachs with my partner Joel Sagner, and this is the Smooth Move podcast brought to you by yourdependablepartner.com. And today we have a special guest with us, Jane. Welcome, Jane Snell Simpson. And we're going to talk about a couple different topics that I think are really critical. One of them is how to have a parent stay with you without staying with you. And that's going to be very catchy. It's sort of one of the new trends in situations where families of multi generations are living together and really still having their own privacy. And Jane is really at the forefront nationwide in this trend. But we'll also maybe start off by talking a little bit about those that are trying to stay at home and making the accommodations without broadcasting to the whole world that these accommodations are there. So, Jane, welcome. Welcome to the Smooth Move podcast. That's a mouthful. Smooth Move podcast. So, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Okay, so I've been in business for about in the South Florida area about 22 years now, I think. State licensed general contractor, also certified aging in place specialist for about, I think, the last 16 years, I believe. Um, it's a family-owned operation. I own it, co-partner with my husband. Um, what else can I tell you? I have a background in
Hey, what's the
construction.
name?
I didn't give you the name. That's pretty important, right? JS1 Construction is the name that we've gone by for 22 years. I have, within the last 6 years or so, gone through some rebranding. So you'll see the lifestyle contractor, and that's more friendly to what we actually do, which is we focus on seniors wanting to live in their homes and not ever have to think about going to a facility.
You know what's really interesting, Jane, and I don't say this often. I wish I could say it more often, but literally everyone Joelle and I speaks to about you has rave reviews and wonderful things to say. So either you're paying them a substantial sum of money or you guys actually do a phenomenal job. And you know, I'm a grandfather, so I have grandkids. And one of the big things about grandkids is making sure the house is safe, making sure gates are up, making sure cabinets are closed, making sure doors can stay locked because kids get into everything.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, as we age, there is a new movement, like you say, the lifestyle contractor, to make the home appropriate for the senior that wants to stay in place. Now, the fear usually is you're going to have a big, ugly ramp. You're going to have really hideous handlebars. You're going to have, all sorts of other things that, number one, make it uncomfortable for visitors. And number two, possibly decrease the value of the home when you go to resell it. And, Joel and I are both real estate, we like to say experts in the South Florida market. We hope people agree with that. But tell us a little bit about that, this lifestyle contracting and making the home friendly for someone that may have some limitations without making it hideous.
That is the key because what I've learned in my experience is that a lot of people need the help, but regardless of the money, they have in their mind stuff that we used to do, and some contractors still do because they don't know any better. But I'm always from the place of when you learn and you know better, you do better, and that's what clients get when we work together. It's just my focus and experience and things that I know will look right. And they may not come out and say that they're not going to do it because they're thinking about these old-fashioned ideas, but I know in the back of their head that's what they're thinking. So it just blows me over when we're able to go there and do something very refreshing for them. where we had a tough client once that just what I'm saying. She didn't want to do it because she had visions of this facility looking throughout her house. The grab bars looking like they belong in a facility, and she really needed the help. Her house had multiple stairs and steps throughout the house. I had never seen so many inside a home and on the grounds before. But I was brought in by a designer and we worked together to get it done. And it was a very simple project, but it's details. And that's how we got through it, because what we found and noticed is that she was very unsteady on her feet. We could see that as she walked through the home, but she just wouldn't do it unless we came up with something that blended in with her home and looked like it belonged. And we ended up with this wrought iron look that complemented her home and the different stair rails and trails, rails that she had going up the stairs and everything. People won't do it unless it looks like it belongs. They don't want visitors and everybody else knowing their business and seeing that someone with a disability maybe or can't do certain things the way they could do it lives here. Nobody wants that. So I'll just be really quick in saying the things that we like to focus on is wider doorways and hallways for wheelchairs and walkers, no step entries and evil leveling floors to prevent falls is what we focus on. Grab bars in bathrooms and sturdy handrails. And you can also put grab bars throughout the home if you really need them, but we would work with you to where it looks like, it's something that belongs there and not an eyesore. Lowered countertop cabinets and switches that are easy to reach. Lower handles instead of knobs. When I say lower, I mean not lower, but lever style handles instead of knobs. Because as we get older, there are things like arthritis and just issues with our hands that don't work properly the same way they used to work. Let me say it that way. And also good lighting, which is something that's often forgotten, is very, very important. Because our eyes don't work the same either. So that's something that gets left off most of the time. If you could have motion sensors and things of that nature throughout the home. Also, if you're getting up for that middle of the night water and you need to find your way to get to the kitchen, that motion sensor lighting comes in handy. Low lighting and not glaring. But those are some of the things. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but those are just some of the things.
It sounds like no matter what the need is, you have a solution, which is pretty amazing. And if you don't have the solution, you're going to come up with one.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I mean, you've told us about one success story. Tell me about some others. Tell us about, I know I'm putting you on the spot there, Jane, so we don't mean to, but I
Okay.
want people to really kind of understand the full grasp of this because there are so many seniors that want to be at home but can't see it. They can't see it, or the children can't see that the home can accommodate them, and all they see are obstacles. But your job, really, and your expertise is turning those obstacles on their head and making the home comfortable and safe. Safe is the key word, right?
Yes. So I will say two things came to mind as you were speaking. So
Nice to me. You know,
two things, two things I can share. One was a long time ago, this person was going to put her house on the market, and she talked about the bathroom being an eyesore because it had this ridiculous tub in it. And I'm going, "Well, what does a tub look like?" I didn't see pictures. I went over, and she was talking about a walk-in tub. And I just like glowed because this is not something that I see very often. I mean, there are a lot of them out there, but I helped her see that she may think it's an eyesore. It wasn't. It was actually nicely done. It's just for her, it means an eyesore means it's not what she thinks the general public is looking for. Joelle will definitely be able to relate to what I'm saying in real estate.
Yes.
There are not very many homes out there on the market for people with a disability or trying to age in place. So if you have one that you can highlight, oh my gosh, you have a gem, because not only will the people that don't need them necessarily want this home, maybe for other reasons, but now you have something that's just for someone that needs it. And that's not, it's not a lot of people can say that. So that's one. So the other one is I actually have one now where I was called to help a veteran. It's not an ADU, it's a remodel project where both the husband and the wife are using wheelchairs. The kitchen is going to be designed with lower countertops mostly, but there are with pull-out shelves, but there's some upper shelves. And what we're going to do is have them pull down to where they're at the level of someone in a wheelchair will be able to get things that are even higher on the upper cabinet. The bathroom's also going to be reconfigured in an open fashion, making the space more open and free, where the occupants can do their daily activities without hindrance. So those are the two examples that come to mind.
Yeah, I had a client when I was in Maryland who also a veteran who was in a wheelchair, and he purchased a home and he was redoing the entire house to accommodate his needs. It was a
You know,
big project.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, we have a friend here who just bought a property in Delray, and it came with a walk-in tub. And she's
Mm.
60, so she's my age, and she loves that walk-in tub. It's got a jacuzzi feature to it, and she actually was joking. She said we should have a party in here because it's that much fun. But yeah, I mean that's the truth. Now let's talk about someone that isn't able to stay in the home. Maybe it's not physical, maybe it's just emotional reasons. For example, I know if I had brought my mother to live in my home, um, well, I'd be single. I'd be single and out there. So, because she was a pill. And the reality is, I didn't unfortunately know you at the time, Jane, but there's another solution. So she didn't have to be alone in a 4-bedroom home. She didn't have to be in a community. We could have simply put her in the backyard, obviously in a property. But tell us a little bit. That didn't sound right. Just put her in the backyard. No, we would have.
A little nefarious.
Right, right. So let's clear that up. We could have made a separate, what you call a granny flat, what's in the industry called an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU. So tell us about that, because there's a lot of emotional benefit to it. There's a lot of physical benefit to it. And there's even some financial benefit to it. So go ahead, Jane.
So those things that you're referring to are, accessory dwelling units is the name that's the building departments have adopted to make everything universal, or short name is ADU. Also, mother-in-law suites, granny flats, they have a lot of names. These are I'm going to start with what they are. They're self-contained living spaces on the same property as the main home. That's what makes them different, and that's what gives them their uniqueness, okay? They can be new, built from the ground up. They can be detached, cottages. They could be modular. They would also be detached. They could be converted garages. Or even we don't have basements in Florida, but in parts of the country where I believe you guys are national here, basements are also a solution that they can be converted into. Popular because they let seniors or family members live independently, but they can stay close for support, which is a huge benefit for multi-generational families, which is what you were mentioning, Brian. There are other reasons that people want these granny flats, and a couple of the main ones I'll say. There's lots of other reasons, but the three more often ones I hear about is support for adult children with disabilities. Keeping them close makes it easier to provide daily support and caregiving while they're still able to have their independence because they're in a separate space.
And privacy. Yeah.
Well, privacy, right. It's important for their growth and their understanding. The solution can be, it's less costly than having them go to a group home, and you can design the space specifically for their needs. So people are very happy with them. Another reason that's been coming up a lot is what we call boomerang, for boomerang kids. That's the intermediate or transitional solution that they have out there. Put them in the backyard. They often move back home due to
In a unit, not just in the backyard. It rains, it pours, it snows. They're going
put
to
them in a unit in the backyard.
Yeah,
Excuse
good,
me. Thanks for correcting me on that.
good.
When they move back home, it's usually due to maybe high housing costs not where they expect it to be, and they can't afford it at the moment. Student debt also is another reason, or they're having a career transition, not quite ready to go in their career, but they need a place to reassemble. And this is also because privacy is the utmost importance at that age. So that's another reason. And then the third one is just as a rental agreement, a rental property for you to earn extra income. Lots of people are having that conversation now. So people are calling, wanting to see if they're able to do it for those reasons as well.
It's so much better than renting out a bedroom in your house that's next door to you.
Right.
You know, what I haven't said on this podcast in the past is that I've been a mortgage banker also for 40 years. And so these things, it's hard for me to even say that, by the way. But these things, these ADUs, these granny flats, are able to be financed, and they do add value to the property. And, you know, all around, it's a good thing. If you get it for, one of your children who is re-nesting back in the house, this gives them their access and their privacy, and you can rent it out afterwards as another source of income. There are lots of people that would, really love that. And Jane, I'm amazed by your depth of knowledge in these. I would say, and don't blush, that you are the foremost expert at least in Florida on this topic, and probably one of the top nationally. And it really is a wonderful thing. I had to put my mom into a nursing home. It wasn't an assisted living facility. It was a nursing home. And if you know Baltimore, it was near Pimlico Racetrack, which is not a great area and filled with sort of not nice drug dealers who have weapons. And I used to go visit her like 6 o'clock in the morning and various times during the day. And I guess most people left me alone because they thought I was a narcotics agent. Like, what's he doing here at 6 o'clock in the morning? Like he's either nuts, a drug dealer, or he's a, FBI. So I never got bothered too much. But my point in saying that is I would have loved to have her steps from me to be able to check on her. But I had to literally drive, 20, 30 minutes into a rougher part of town. So Jane, how do people reach you if you're a child of a senior watching this, if you're a senior yourself watching this, and you know that the house needs some accommodations, or you live in a property that could accommodate an ADU, how do they get hold of you? I'm going to start calling you the ADU queen because you really know more about this topic, and you've invested so much of your time really knowing this cold. How would someone reach you, Jane?
I'm actually pretty easy to reach. You can think of the lifestylecontractor.com. You can reach me that way. Also, I do, free consultations by phone. I wish I had the link to give you, but I don't have that yet because it's not quite there. reworking my website right now, and along with some other things so people can find me even easier. But 954-410-9566 is
One more time.
one more time. 954-410-9566. That's our office number and one of the easiest ways to reach us.
And
Anything,
lifestylecontractor.com.
the lifestylecontractor.com.
Super.
And
It's
people,
probably easier for me to tell you that than JS1 construction, because people usually remember the lifestyle contractor.
Lifestyle contractor, it's an appropriate name because it's exactly what you do. I mean, that really is awesome. So, Jane, any final comments before we sign off?
I would tell anyone who's thinking of doing something or realize you need to do something and not quite sure, before having a conversation with anybody, you start talking about future needs with that person. Preferences, concerns, start the conversation now. Work with a professional who understands both construction and aging in place principle. That's extremely important. Extremely important. CAPS certified aging in place specialist is what CAPS stand for. That's what you're looking for. I think there's a couple of other designations, but that's the one I'm more familiar with. But you want someone who's used to working with this in this type of environment and with clients who have the same goals and needs as you. You got to remember that the goal is to create that space where your loved one can thrive safely and comfortably for years to come.
Super, super. And if you are by chance moving, you're moving into a community, you're moving out of state to a community, certainly keep us in mind. Yourdependablepartner.com. Joe, you want to say a little bit about what we do real fast in our number?
Sure. So we make sure that when you're downsizing, or you maybe you're moving to live with a relative someplace, we will take care of everything in the home to help you move. The packing, the unpacking, auctioning, all of that stuff, getting rid of anything that you're not taking. So we take away the headache of the move for you.
Hey,
And
you
we're
can
also
reach
realtor, so we can sell the house as well. And you can reach me at joelle@yourdependablepartner.com. And also, I wanted to mention that our goal here at Smooth Moves is to provide information for the community of all kinds of possibilities of what you could do to help somebody, whatever their need may be. So if there's somebody you're looking for and you can't find them, feel free to reach out to us and we will try to connect you with the right person.
Super. And we'll be back again next week for another episode of Smooth Moves. And Jane, thank you once again. We appreciate you being here. The lifestylecontractor.com. And you know, she's offering you a free, no obligation consultation. You certainly can't beat the price. So if this is your situation, make sure you reach out to Jane.